what you do if you're in the bush and you run out of water. So, no more water in my water container. I'm out in the bush. What do you do? Well, I've got a freshwater filter straw that I could use, but let's say I didn't have that, just for the sake of exercise. What could I do? I know there's been rain in the creek that's just down this gully overnight, so hopefully I can find some standing water, but it's probably not going to be fresh. So looking around in my car, I've got this old bottle, and I'm going to make a water filter, and I'll show you how I do it. So what I want to do is turn this bottle into a funnel and a container for collecting water. I want to be able to pour water into it so it comes down through this funnel and of course collects in the bottom. I want to use this top section to put in materials to filter the water so it can be as clean as possible coming to the bottom. So I want to cut through the bottle, but leaving me enough space to actually make a filter. So I'm going to sort of cut below this old label here. So now I've got two halves, and I'm going to make a filter that sits in the top like that, put water in there, and the water will collect in here. So the type of things I want to find: old t-shirt material that I'll probably use at the very bottom. Above that, I'd like to find some charcoal off an old burnt log or something, because it will help filter the smell, the taste of the water. Then another layer of the t-shirt material, some sand, clean sand if possible, and then probably some of this grass stuff to filter at the very top. So I managed to find some charcoal from an old log nearby, an old bushfire. This is a container I'll use to collect the water out of the pond or whatever I find down at the creek, because I don't want to use the same container for my clean water that I use to collect the dirty water. So I have those two separate. I've cut my t-shirt material into a few squares. So I just want to break up this charcoal a bit. I mean, you've heard of charcoal filters for your fresh, pure water at home. So I'm just going to flatten that. And that will be the first layer. Ideally I want to put some sand on top of that, and then I'll put some of this tussock grass on top to filter out all of the solids. So we need to go down to the creek to find some clean river sand. Here's the creek. I can see some water and a pool of water. It's running a little bit, but it certainly looks like it's been there a while, so I do need to filter it. Holy sh... And there is a red belly black snake that I've just disturbed. Don't know if you can see him. There he goes, yeah. So keep away from red belly black snakes, kids. I should have known near water is where they like to live and hunt. So I'll just leave him alone and he'll leave me alone. They're fairly timid. So here I am near the little pond, little pool of water. You can see it's quite clear, but I don't know how long it's been there. and so I don't know what's growing in it. Further down is a bit of algae. I can see some algae over here. So we're going to build our little filter. So the next thing I wanted to add to this was some river sand. I can't find any sandy sand, but I'll have to use some of these fine river pebbles. I'm just going to try and get some, there's some finer bits here. Then I'd like to add another layer of my t-shirt material. Probably don't need that whole square, but and then I'm going to add some of that tussock grass on the top to make a filter. That's my filter. Here's the base. So now we're going to get some clean water and put it through our filter. Just wash out my container here. It will take a while to filter through all those layers. You can see it's coming through there. So it's just a matter of being patient, letting that sit through, and then pouring this into my water container and try and fill it up to full. So I'll just let this sit for a while and do its thing. Top it up. That's about a cup so far. Just pour that into our maybe 2 cups. And there we go. A good litre of water there. So you can see the layers there now. Charcoal wrapped in the t-shirt material fabric, the sand, more t-shirt material, and then the grass on the top to help filter out the solids. Worked well. So I'll leave Mr. Snake alone. He's just over here somewhere. I'll go out this way. So even though I've got a good litre of water now, it's mostly clear. I could let it settle and make sure any fine elements settle to the bottom. I think it's called turbidity, but anyway, I still can't fully trust it. If I had some water purification, I could use that. But the best solution is to boil it now, because this can contain microorganisms like GIARDIA and CRYPTOSPORIDIUM, and you don't want to get those sort of bugs into you when you're somewhere remote in the bush. So now I'm going to boil it in a kettle on a campfire and make a coffee with it after that, and boil the rest to make it clean. I was going to make a campfire in this clearing in front of where I'm sitting, but there's lots of leaf litter around, and you can probably tell it's a little breezy today, and I really don't want any embers spreading and causing a fire. So I think I'm just going to use my camp stove to boil the water. This is the water we filtered. We'll just let that boil. So we boiled that hard for a good 3-4 minutes to kill off any of the bugs that are in the water. Now I'm going to use it just to make a pressed coffee. Give it a couple of minutes. Looking at you, Chris. Tastes great. Thanks for watching this video on how to filter and purify a bit of water. You might ask, like, isn't there water in the car that I'm with? Most modern cars, not really. There's additives in the radiator water. There's probably detergent in your windscreen wiper water. So there's not really a lot you can get out of a car that isn't contaminated with some sort of chemicals. This was just a way of showing you how to improvise. Normally I would use the filter straw just to make sure. But filtering it as we did and boiling it is the best way. So, thanks for joining me, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now. Oh, by the way, I did have a snake kit in the car in case I got bit. Bye.